Hello, can you hear me? All right, let me go out and come back in. Yeah. Can y'all hear me now? I'm so sorry. I was just talking. I don't even remember all of what I said, and y'all just patiently waited. I'm sorry. Can you guys hear me? Yes. Yes. Okay, I was just talking about life. That's all I was talking about. Just talking about how I was really being very open and frank with you all as far as how I spend most of my weekends. Hold on, give me a second, y'all. I'm gonna get this thing off the screen so I can tell if y'all can hear me. Now, give me just 1 second. Okay. Okay, now I can tell if y'all can hear me because I can see myself. Okay, sorry about that. Thank y'all for sticking in. I was just essentially talking about how um I was just sitting here debating all day, if I should go live like I do every single weekend. Um, because I'm the type of person I work all week and I work two jobs, but I work on purposely because I don't like to deal with things that I really need to deal with. So I certain things in my life now I have not dealt with because I just don't want to and it's not healthy. I need to start dealing with my issues instead of crawling up in a little ball on the weekends and tuning in to television lives or whatever. Um, Something is happening here. I think everybody can hear me. Okay, yes, I see. Sorry, I'm paranoid now because you couldn't hear me for so long. Um, I have a really bad habit of everything on the weekend that I have not dealt with during a weekday. I think about. I think and I think and I think and I think and I think. And then I start to get a little disgusted because of all of this stuff. When I look at YouTube and a lot of stations I've stopped listening to on purpose because I'm sick of the drama, I'm sick of the nonsense. I'm just tired of people, you know, beefing back and forth, the games. Um, like it's such an important part of life. Um, when you can be here today, you can be gone tomorrow, and all you can think about when you get up in the morning is fussing and fighting over an internet with people that we may not even, some of us will meet and some we will never meet each other. Some of us will never even verbally speak to um on a personal basis. But when you have real life issues going on and you see all of the mess that's happening on this app, and from what I understand, it's not just this sector, it's a lot of sectors, it's a lot of social media, period. Um, it gets disheartening, it gets overwhelming um, when you come to try to have, some peaceful something going on somewhere for a safe haven for people to come to just to talk about life and real issues and to try to get through situations that are toxic and um, just not healthy for your life, period. And you see all of this chaos. Um, when you're going through something personally in your life, it can, I mean, listening to this type stuff can make your own situation worse. And um, I don't know. That was just weighing heavy on me. And I was also thinking about how some of us get out here and we came to this social media for entertainment, to kick back, relax, have fun, and how the whole thing for the majority has just turned into a nightmare. I mean, it's very few content creators on here who haven't had a battle with somebody, and most of the battles turn from just social media stuff to personal. I mean, very personal things that can like literally hurt you in real life. And that's man, it's just something that hopefully will change. We just don't know if it really will. And I guess that's how I think sometimes. Will it change? Will it? It's just difficult. It's a difficult thing to think about. And sometimes I get tired of thinking about it. Um, and yes, you can get drained. And I think I get drained. Um, but I appreciate the positive. I really do. I like it when we can get on here and talk about things that will help us in our life or things that'll make us allow us to become encouraged and move forward in our life to do things that are greater. Um, you know, when I talked about that dog empath, it really made me realize how many um, people you probably cross paths with in your life who have a lot of those qualities and traits, and we've been damaged by these people. And sometimes it makes us, um, it can switch your whole direction because you don't want to be hurt. You don't want to feel pain, especially if you can avoid it, especially if it can be avoided. But I appreciate all of y'all coming. I don't know if you all somebody wants to hit this link, maybe come up and talk. Of course, I can get to talking about my narcissism all day and all night. If anybody has any questions about that, we can definitely talk about that. Um, but I just wanted to be real. I wanted to be open and just a little more transparent tonight. Not to tell my all of my life, all of my business, but that was really why I came on to talk about life and relationships. Because in life, it doesn't matter what type of relationship it is. It can be family, it can be friends, it can be husband, wife, um, girlfriend, boyfriend. Life and relationships, it just intertwines. Whatever happens in life will affect relationships. Um, we just learn and we grow from them. Sometimes we have to learn a hard way, and sometimes it's not as hard because life is not easy, period. Um, and that's just what it is. Legend change, the change starts from us. Avoid it, staying grounded and encouraged. Do you think it's going to change? That's what Legend asked. I don't know. In some ways, if I think about Bible prophecy, I don't think it would change. But I'm not God, and I don't know where we are in biblical timeline. I don't know where we are. But if people are clearly like Second Timothy, where they it's a lot of self love, it's a lot of They just don't love God anymore. Um, I mean, I can't even think of them. I need that scripture right in front of me to call it all out. But if people have become wicked, I don't know if it'll change. I really don't know. I would like for it to change, but um, I agree with Let's Talk with Love. She said with some people, and that's why I said I don't know. Because everybody out here is not wicked. I do think some of us can change, but for some reason, I feel like that the people who can change are going to be in a whole different like arena. We won't be connected to these people who are being wicked and just not doing what's right. You can't change the narcissists, and a lot of them are. That's true. Hey, blessings, how you doing? Thank you for joining. Now, see, this is. Let me tell y'all, I have a hard time since I went through that narcissistic abuse. I have a hard time separating everything from narcissism. Everything negative, I have a hard time separating it from narcissism and the new thing we learned about, which is a dark empath. I have a hard time separating it. And that experience made me more cautious and it made me look for signs that I didn't look for before. And I know everybody is not a narcissist, but when I see certain things happen, or I see certain people, or certain reactions, or whatever, all I can see is narcissism. But if you think about it, when I said Timothy chapter 3, um, I don't have that scripture, but Timothy chapter 3 literally calls out everything that a narcissist is. You know, let me see if I can find it real quick. Timothy chapter 3. And I'm not a like a religious scholar. I just things would just drop into my spirit. And one day this scripture did, according to, the way a narcissist is. And I found the scripture. The scripture says, but mark this, there will be terrible times in the last days. People will be lovers of themselves, lovers of money, boastful, proud, abusive, disobedient to their parents, ungrateful, unholy, without love, unforgiving, slanderous, without self control, brutal, not lovers of the good, treacherous, rash, conceited, lovers of pleasure rather than lovers of God, having a form of godliness but denying its power. And it says, have nothing to do with such people. That's Second Timothy 1 through 5. And when did you hear all of that description? When you hear that description, that's what you feel like you're dealing with when you're dealing with narcissism. And to be honest with you, that's what you feel like you're dealing with a lot of personalities in this sector. People that don't care, they're unforgiving, they're boastful, they love the money, the reason why they do the things they do. They seem to be unholy. They don't have self-control. Treacherous. That describes narcissists. So, I mean, it's in the Bible. That's all I can say. It's written in the Bible. Um, Let me see. I'm sorry, I'm gonna go to these. I don't know where I am in the chat. I'm just gonna start right here. Legend says right LTL, and just those few can change that can change is a blessing. Yes, it is. Some of us we're just it's gonna be groups. This is my understanding. Okay. Everybody reads the Bible, and the Bible really says to study to show yourself approved, meaning you can gain your own understanding through of some of the scriptures. I mean, this is my understanding that we will be separated. I don't think we're going to be with certain people towards the end times. I just don't think so. I don't want to get too political. That's why I'm not saying anything specific. Um, Blessings. I'm good, sister. So glad to catch your live while off work. My thank you. Blessings. Let's talk love, right, bro? Amen. Legend. And let's talk. I watch your lives while at work. I'm there with you, boo. Yes. Me too. I'm at work a lot. And I listen to when I can. I used to be able to listen a lot, but I really think that God stopped that because it was too much negativity falling into my spirit, and I have to be released. I have a lot I need released, and I can't absorb too much negativity. So I think that's why we had an issue at work where we cannot have our phones or even earpieces in our ear at this point. We it used to be kind of free around my job, but I think that's why I stopped. It was too much going on. The last days, people would be lovers of themselves, lovers of money, boastful, proud, abusive. Exactly. That's what's happening. Um, I believe we're in the last days, and some people say, well, they've been talking about the last days since forever. Our parents, our grandparents, probably their parents, everybody's been talking about the last days. The thing that I feel is different now is that a lot of the things they talk about in Bible prophecy, we have technology for it. And um, basically, the technology speaks for itself. I mean, we have things that can happen now, and the things that they are about to put out here, like these glasses by Apple. Like when we see on the movies, you can literally see a screen in front of your face. You don't need a television. Those glasses, it's like bringing virtual reality right in your face, like virtual mixing in with real life. That's what that's wow. That's all I can say. Thank you, blessings. Blessings is speaking. Lakin says right. Yes, Ginger. We in it is what we witnessing right now. Yes. And I don't like to sound like a broken record, but I can be listening to people talking about people and talking about things that's happening, and that's the scripture that pops in my head. I'm like, this is the description of people that we're seeing right now. Not that this is the only time in our life where we've, seen people like this, but it's so prevalent now. It's so many people with the same type of personality now. So it's getting close, I think. I don't know. But we got to remember, what I learned is that a day is like 1,000 years to God. So that's what I learned now. I don't know if it's right because I didn't read it. That's what I learned. So grateful for you all. Help me grow, and I truly believe that iron sharpens iron. Blessings to you all. Legend is speaking to blessings. He says, how are you? They already dividing. Yes, I believe so. This is why I'm saying what I'm saying. Because if you think about it, we who are trying to be positive, we're trying to break away from this negativity. And last year kind of felt like it was just a very few of us, but it feels like it's more now. So we may actually literally see a divide. It's, I'm not going to get into that. But anyway, let's go back to the chat. I'm highly blessed, legend. Yes, Maritza, I agree, Lakin. They've been talking about the last days since I was young. That's why I said they've been talking about last days forever, like forever. But like I said, technology is lining up now with a lot of the Bible prophecy. Even some of the things we see, um, I mean, there have been wars. The Revelation talks about wars and rumors of wars and everything. We've seen wars before. We've seen a lot of what we see now, but the difference is the technology, in my opinion. I agree, Lakin. Don't get them. They're trying to test your mind and clone you. Blessings. Mm. We attract the same kind of people with the same kind of thoughts. Now, a lot of people think when people speak like that we are conspiracy theorists, but I agree. I feel the same way. I don't want those things on my face. I don't know what they are. And I'm going to tell y'all one reason why I feel like this, and it might sound a little crazy. Well, one reason is because it's just how I feel in my spirit about it. But another reason is when I was a kid, it was a movie that they showed at my church. I cannot remember the name of this movie. Um, but when they were trying to get people to mark, what they would do is they would put those goggles on your face. And when they put those goggles on your eyes, it would be like a film playing. It would be like the Antichrist talking to you in this film. And this one guy had a missing arm. And when he saw himself in that goggle, he had his whole arm and everything was just normal. And the Antichrist stood there and said, "Hey, if you get this mark, it's gonna be like this for you, and you know, you'll be able to have the world." He just talked to him and talked to him and convinced him. If he hadn't have taken that mark, they would take your life. So he took the mark, and when he took the goggles off, he had his arm. His arm was back. But it just reminded me when I saw those goggles, it reminded me of that movie. So really spiritually, I don't really want to fool with them. I'm not into all of that stuff anyway. But I agree. That's my opinion. That apple, I believe, is the forbidden fruit the Bible warned us about. Mm-mm-mm. That's deep. Um, well, we already know that they use certain symbols because they mean something. And I never thought about the apple. Hmm. That's I don't even know what to say about that. That's deep right there. The most I'll go is the Apple Watch that gives me my heart rate. Well, blessings, they have actually this earpiece I have in my ear can read your heart rate. I didn't set it up to read your heart rate, but when I saw that, I said, "Oh my goodness, they have earpieces that can read your heart rate now." I try not to think too negatively about it, but I do think about it. Like Left Behind. I don't know, Ginger. See if Left Behind wasn't that movie I saw. I remember the Left Behind series. Um, I cannot remember the name of that movie, but the actor who played in it is, lost his mind now. Nick Nolte. He played in that movie. He was actually the hero of that movie. To be honest with you, I'm gonna see if I can find the name of it. At Ginger, that Left Behind movie shook my tail to Christ. The start of my walk. I don't want to be left behind. Reason why I strive to work on me and treat others with love. Hmm. I'm sorry to call you Ginger. Maritza, that's so real. I feel the same way, but these days I think even deeper than that. I think about and I pray that I'm not one of these people when it comes to the day of judgment. I'm standing before God and He tells me He does not know me because I've been too lukewarm or, I think about it. I'm not claiming to be that way, but it's just so many things that we are required to do and to be. Maritza, yes. The apple is half bitten, just like when the snake bit the apple and handed it to Eve. Exactly. I believe you, legend. I never thought about it like that, but a lot of people neglect to realize that a lot of the stuff we see and the symbols that are around for a purpose. I mean, you teaching that to us on your page. I mean, on your channel, but I kind of already knew some of that. You're teaching me more. Um, but I never thought about that apple, but that makes perfect sense. They say she bit that apple. They didn't say how many times, but she bit it one bite out of it. So that makes a whole lot of sense. That's why it has a bite on the apple pick on the back of the phone. Because I'm looking at it, and yes, apple has a bite in it. In other words, it scared me straight. Yeah, Nick out of his mind. He also played Ghost. Yes, he is out of his mind. That man lost his mind. The last time I saw him, he was on, I think they said he got arrested in a park or something for indecent exposure a few months or so ago because I share a lot of stuff with my sons and um I was looking something up and I saw that there when they were asking me who was this actor that played in this film because I also shared that film with them as well. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Can read your heart rate from your ear. Actually, any pulse. I'm grateful because that prevents certain situations. Exactly. That's true. That's true. It can prevent certain situations that we're not even aware of. 100% blessings. Yes, I'm gonna find the name of that movie, but Nicolas Cage. Who is what? What about Nicolas Cage? Nick who? No, Nick Nolte, the guy who played on I think he played on 48 Hours with Eddie Murphy. He played in a few films. A whole lot of he's an actor who we don't see that much on films anymore. Um it might have been called, you know what? I think the name of that movie was called Tribulation. I can't remember the name of this movie. Get back to my chat. Yeah, Nick out of his mind. Please like, comment, thank you so much. Oh yeah, he crazy. Hollywood probably drove him crazy. I mean, a lot of people stuff happened to them when they get involved with Hollywood. Hey Angie, how you doing? Happy encouragement with Richard and you see legend, Lakin, blessings. Everyone in chat, good evening. Hi Diva and everyone here. Everybody speaking back to Angie at this point. And we were just talking about I don't know, we just started talking about a whole lot of different things. Kind of brought me up out of my little funk I was in a few minutes ago. But I'm trying to think of the name of that movie. Trying to find it for y'all. I don't know if y'all be interested, but this in this movie, that guy had these goggles. If they found out you didn't have the mark, they would put those goggles on your face when they captured you. And you had a choice. At that point, your choice was to get the mark and live, or you won't see anything else after you look into those goggles. And when I saw those, that headset on television, I don't know, a week or so ago, what Apple is doing, that's like the stuff we see on TV. You know, where you in a room and you have a computer screen right in front of your face. And if I'm not mistaken, I think you can see holograms of people, like pretend, make like you sitting in your living room, like I'm sitting right there, just sitting in your living room, and you put these goggles on, but you can see through the goggles. First of all, it's no covering; it's like glass, and you can see people standing holograms in the computer screen and icons or apps right in front of your face, and it's like a computer virtual mixed in your whole reality. You know, that's what they're doing now with this stuff. That's why I think they're building all of these 5G towers and so close together. But I'm not gonna get into that topic because a lot of people have different feelings about that. I'm here cleaning chicken for tomorrow, but listening. Yes, they getting locked up, Maritza, and looking wild. Yes, something is wrong with him mentally right now. The Rapture. Is that the name of it? Let me see. It would take my ginger seed to find the name of that movie. The Rapture. Hmm. I don't. That's not the one. McNulty. I don't know the name of it. I want to let y'all know it, but I don't know the name. I'm not gonna sit here and keep trying to find it. I'm gonna see one more place if I can find it. Hmm. Ginger Seed, New World Order. I don't think that's the name of it either. That doesn't sound familiar. They have that in DC. You can see Whitney Houston and Michael Jackson like a live concert. You mean a hologram? Yeah, they do holograms in concerts. Is if that's what you're talking about, yeah, they do. I was talking about some like virtual reality. I don't know what they call them, but you can put them over your eyes, and instead of it being closed in like the virtual reality we have now, it's open. It's like glass, like you can see straight through it. And when you look straight through it, you can see a icons just sitting in the air in your living room, or if a person is connected, that person can show up in your living room. You can touch the icons and all of that stuff. They are really literally starting to mix the virtual world with the real world. It's going to be more than us just I think it's called Web 3. They had different kinds of remember when the internet first came out, it was basically a lot of information. We couldn't do what we do now on the internet. We couldn't talk to each other. We couldn't see each other. We could text and I mean, we could text, email, and things like that, but we couldn't, talk to do lives. We couldn't do that. You know, I don't think we could do lives until I don't know what 5 years ago. We could do lives. Before that, we were able to post videos and just look at certain things. But before that, all we could do was like pick up written articles or whatever on the internet. And so now they're about to go to the next stage, which is to try to mix virtual reality in your real life. The Mark. No, it wasn't called The Mark. Ginger, around that time I watched the movie, I was also watching video on YouTube about One World Order. They talked about the plague, aka C-19, staying focused on changing. Yeah. One World Order, that's a real thing. Apocalypse, tribulation. No, that's not the name of it. I think they're trying to change humans to cyborgs. Okay, now I don't want y'all to say Erica's a conspiracy theorist because I'm getting ready to elaborate a little bit on what I just read about what Legend just wrote. You think they're trying to change humans into cyborgs in the near future. I have heard that, but a lot of us don't understand that when we look at think about this, y'all. When we look at these movies on television, just like Maritza just said, she saw something about C-19 and One World Order. It's like predictive programming. They show us certain things in films so that when or if it happens in real life, it's not so strange to us because we saw it and we saw how it can happen or how it can be possible. And when I think about them trying to change humans into cyborg, they kind of made us feel like that's possible when we saw the Terminator. That was the first movie I remember seeing where it was a machine that looked like a man. Then another one I think about is iRobot because Will Smith he had that one arm that was robotic, and they did have that little show way back in the day. Was it this $60 million man? Whoever he was, he just had a whole lot of parts that weren't human in his body. I can't remember the name of that movie. I mean that show, but and then you got to think about the fact that they are making robots, and I don't understand why they feel like they need so many robots. But it's a lot of stuff happening that we're really not aware of because most of us aren't paying attention, and we so busy fussing and fighting on YouTube. Yes, like the virtual game, legend, 100% legend. Right, Maritza? That's what the Mark be playing with that technology. That's what Mark be playing with that. Oh yeah, money, currency. Narc speaks. Hello, Narc speaks. Thank you for joining. Thank you for coming. $6 million man. Yeah, that was the right show. Welcome, Narc Slayer. Blessings. Just like the submarine, they needed sacrifices so the next person can pick up the baton and perfect it. Money makes the world go around. Oh my gosh. Yes. This whole world is based on money. Everything. I was just having a conversation a little earlier about um pharmakia, which is the word that pharmaceutical pharmacy medicine comes from, and how way back they used herbal, holistic medicinals to heal people. And when all of these um, people who decided they wanted to invest a lot of money into the world function decided to delve into science and decide, okay, let's try all of these different, let's use what really heals and mix chemicals in it and get people depending on medications so that the medicine can, make you think you're, helping yourself, but really, I'm just going to treat your symptom and cause other issues to come up and not get to the root of your problem with these wonderful plants and herbs that God put on this planet to heal us because there was a such thing as a balm in Gilead way back in biblical times. I'm not saying that, everything was like it is now because obviously it wasn't. But there are natural things out here that can heal us besides this medicine. But the point of me saying all that is a lot of money is made from medicine. And all of these three-letter corporate entities, three-letter words, FBI, CIA. Only one is four is NASA, NASA, FDA. Um, the three-letter word ones. They make a lot of money. A lot of them have a lot of influence on this whole economy, the worldwide economy. But yes, money rules the world. I, that's why I believe that scriptures in the Bible, the love of money is the root of evil. Because when people love that money, they do anything, anything to make it. Yes, Lake and kisses. Narc is speaking to Maritza and Ginger. Oh yeah, blessings. That was like a sacrifice. Oh yeah, I forgot about that part of the comment. You know, I was, I was wondering. They do certain things. I just don't understand what is the exploration under the ocean for? What kind of plan is it? The reason why they want to see if folks can get that far in the bottom of the ocean. What are they looking for? I'm just wondering. Um, that was my thought behind it, and I do know that sacrifices are made on humanity because to a lot of elites we're like lab rats. They do what they do, just like learn um things, and that sounds so disconnected when I say that, but that's just my interpretation of it. Yes, remember the Jetsons? Yes. Don't you know I told somebody a lot of the stuff we saw in that cartoon we see it now, and in another movie that came out in the 80s, Back to the Future. They had a lot of stuff that we see now in it too. And the only thing made me realize that is my sons for years were addicted to that movie. They looked at it like it was no other movie in the world. And they were telling me, Mom, you see this? They do that now. And I said, Oh my gosh, they sure do. They made me think about it. Right leg and Lee Majors, $6 million man. Blessings, that situation was distracting what the government is doing, like the FDA approval for that fake meat. Oh my gosh. This this is just a crowd of woke people. You know about that fake meat, Marissa. Mm. This is what I have learned about the what the plan is for the future. I'm just gonna just say what I learned now. Everybody has their own opinion, but this is just what I learned. In the future, there's going to be two classes of people. There will be rich and there will be poor. Um, each class will have to do certain things to remain in that class. And the reason why I say that is because just because there's a rich class does not mean they will always remain rich. The rich class is going to get it's almost like back in the day when it was a slave master and slave. The slave masters would get everything, every good product, everything was just perfect for them. And the poor people got the scraps. My understanding is that they have these meats in these labs making these meats so that they can give it to the poor during that time. And think about what I just said. They think about the world as lab rats because I just feel like these people are looking for a way to live forever. So they have to try certain things on people they don't even care about. That's my personal opinion. Right, blessings. They had an they had Automan. What's Automan, Lakin? I don't know about that one. Bill Gates, I think the $6 million woman. Yes, they did. I remember that. That one wasn't as popular. Jamie Summers, Bionic Woman. Wow, they've been doing predictive programming on us for a long time. That's the reason why when this stuff happens, I don't know if y'all heard of predictive programming. They do it. Think about it. If we saw, listen, I know this whole guy who is oblivious to he doesn't watch TV, he doesn't pay attention to the news, he doesn't know a lot. So when he hears things like, he called me one day frantic, telling me that he heard one day we'll be able to use our bodies as a cell phone. Like you could literally call somebody from your body. And he, how? What? And I told him to look at these movies. He'll get an understanding of how that could be possible because it doesn't sound crazy to me. I mean, it does, but not really because, I mean, they do a lot of things now. So they've been using predictive programming on us for a while. They said treasures. The Navy heard it when it happened, but didn't say nothing. All those men they spoke already knew these men were. I believe they knew too. Um, I think they knew, and they had to try to. You know what? Sometimes I don't even know what to say on this stuff, but I think they probably knew too. That's as much as I'm gonna say. I think they knew too. Question: why they never stayed in contact with these people? It didn't make any sense to me. Well, from what the news media said, the main news media said is that they lost communication with them about an hour and 45 minutes after they submerged into the water, which is what they're saying is the time that the capsule or whatever they call it imploded, meaning that it, instead of exploding outwardly, the pressure from the water. Okay, they say the ocean is very dense and it's very heavy. That water is heavy. The deeper you go, the heavier it gets. And they were going like 2.5 miles down into the ocean. I've never been to the Grand Canyon, but they use that as an example. It goes down very deep, and the deeper you go, the water is heavier and heavier. So whatever you put into that water is susceptible to caving in, which is an implosion. Um, they said that the weight is so heavy that when it imploded, it just immediately, in a millisecond, disintegrated the people. That they didn't know what happened. It just happened. They had no clue. Um, and think about 6,000 pounds rushing in and hitting you. I can see it kind of tearing and ripping away flesh and all other types of things, and you they probably just disintegrated. That's how they explained it. So that's the explanation that the news media gave, and that's all we can go by is what they say. Every movie they create, every movie that they create, they are hoping that enough people will believe it to a point which can be manifested in this time. Um, yes, I understand that. Um, they're hoping that enough people will believe it to a point in which it can be manifested. Okay, I get what you're saying. I had to read it again. Um, in so many words, I think you're saying that they want people to see it, believe it's possible, and accept these things instead of rejecting it. That's what I think. I I think you're saying the same thing. Yep, Lincoln, 100 legend. It won't be a middle. No, it won't be. According to what I learned, it's just gonna be rich and poor. They're stripping away the middle class. No middle class. If you are not like filthy rich, you won't be rich. You're going to be poor. It's gonna be different living quarters. They're building smart cities. And I'm looking at all of these buildings around me. I don't know how much this has to do, but it just makes me think. Do you notice that the townhomes that they're building a lot of them real tall. Um, Japan have been doing it for centuries. Actually, there's a different than mm, they build. I mean, they have huge, very high apartment buildings. Living quarters for people. I think they're going to do that worldwide. A smart city, less people, easier to use the technology however they want to use it so people won't be so spread out. That's what I think. Even just the regular townhomes I see, they're building like 3 and 4 stories high now because the higher you build these things, the more buildings you can get, you know. And like I said, they're making it 5G and they're putting those poles close to one another. And you got to think about them, their thinking behind that because if they put them close together, there won't be enough gaps for them to lose a signal. So that's why they're building 5G poles so close together. And if they are trying to mix the virtual world with reality, you can't afford to have a break in that signal or nothing will not work effectively. That man that will light up and his car. I don't remember the auto man. I'm gonna have to look to see if I can remember who he is. They should have put a robot in the machine that they put in the ocean before they put man. Yeah. That's what makes that statement about them being sacrifices sound more logical. Because why would you send people? Well, they have had trips down there. They weren't the first people. That's just the first incident where somebody or people got unalive. That's the first instance. They have sent capsules down there before. Um, I've seen 2 documentaries or show. I don't know what to call them. Little short videos where 2 people had gone down there. It's on YouTube if you just look it up. A couple of news broadcasters went down before, and he talked about how he didn't think about how dangerous it was until he got down there, and he said one side of the capsule lost power, and when they go down with this little plastic bucket, I guess, because there's no restroom, there's nothing on there. It's just you sit in this little small, tight space and just hope you can get back up to the top of the ocean. But there are a few people on there that explain. I agree. The Simpsons will tell. I wonder that. Well, I really don't wonder. I don't wonder because everything I think is planned by certain people in this world. I think they know everything. Um, I'm not gonna tell y'all. This is not a lie I'm about to tell y'all. This is not a lie. Um, about 2 years ago when my mother passed away. Forgive me, y'all. I'm walking, so y'all might hear some noise, but I'm going to get this book out of this other room here. And I hope I don't lose connection with y'all. Turn the light on so I can see. Um, and she had a book. And gosh, please let me be able to find it right now. She had a book about the presidents. Is this it? Yes, it is. It's called the U.S. The Complete Book of U.S. Presidents. Now, we know. I mean, it just made me feel kind of. like what? When I read this or when I saw it, we know that Obama was elected in 2008. Excuse me, y'all. I'm flipping through this book. He was elected in 2008. He's the last president in this book. Obama is. Let me see if I can make sure. Oh, maybe it's not Obama. Let me see. Sorry, y'all. Who's this? Yes. Give me a second, y'all. I'm just looking for this. But the whole point is the last president that was in this book. Let me go to when this book was made. Yes. Barack Obama is the last president in this book. Barack Obama was elected in 2008, and this book was published in 2000. Special contents of this edition are copyright 2006. 2006. I don't know how many people saw that. I don't know how many people, I mean, if they knew, if they paid attention to the copyright they put in this book and they had Obama in there. But that made me start thinking kind of like how did they know he was gonna be president if this thing was published or copywritten in 2006? I'm gonna go through the rest of these. Yes, Angie. LTWL James Cameron went down there 33 times. He is alive and said that the sub was a novelty. I don't know if he went or if he sent machines down there. Did he? I'm not sure. He may have. Probably in a different type of a machine. I don't think it was the same one. I think he did go down there. Angie, it was the writers in the same machine, Lakin. Yes, Ginger C. No, he built his own. Okay. Yes, Lakin. Kiss is right. That sub was making cracking sounds. LDWL, that's why people backed out. A famous explorer backed out of the project, and he is known for taking risks. I saw that. He said it wasn't safe, and he said, I'm not doing it. That's why I say they should have put a robot inside him instead of being test dummies. I agree. Right, Angie's place. The Simpsons be on it. They wanted to go. LDWL. Just the man's son didn't want to go. Oh, wow. Well, why did he go if he didn't want to go? Guinea pigs. I don't like the word dummies. Yes, they do, legend. Lakin. Wow. Sorry, typo. Oh, it's okay. That's what Zuckerberg tapping into. That don't be him. It be a robot. Girl, stop getting too deep over here. Yeah, they say there's some robots out here that look just like people. Just like us. They've been making them for years. Probably was a typo. Okay, y'all. I think I'm gonna wrap this up tonight. Um, I have to say, this was very therapeutic for me. I'm sorry that at the beginning of this video I was missing in action because I thought y'all could hear me, and I was just talking and talking and talking. Um, I appreciate everyone for coming. Appreciate your input. And what I'm going to do is go ahead and end this live. It's getting late. And I will talk to y'all next time around. All right. Have a good night, everybody.